Welcome to the PopcornTalk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the schmoes know, this is Marvel Movie News, bringing you the most up-to-date discussion and commentary within the Marvel Universe.
Excelsior to you, our merry Marvelites! Welcome back to our 26th show of the year, 2015, 43 in all. 43. We've done 43 shows.
Oh my god. At
43.
52, that makes a year.
Yeah, you're so good at this.
I know.
Calendars, you guys.
She does math.
Calendars.
Yeah.
I've now done more than Matt Cook.
How's that feel good?
I love you, Matt Cook.
We all love Matt Cook.
But it feels good.
But it does feel good, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're more of a host than Matt Cook ever was. Matt Cook, no, for real, come back to us.
This is sad.
Conflicting emotions.
I don't like this. Let's move on.
Let's move on. We are the Marvel Movie News, coming to you live from the Danger Room, where we tell you all the news from all the studios and why you should be as excited as we are. Yeah?
Yeah. Very exciting today.
Very. Subscribe to us on iTunes at Marvel Movie News, or find us through the Popcorn Talk Network. That is / Popcorn Talk Network on YouTube, or you can find us through their website, PopcornTalkNetwork.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at Marvel News PTN, or on Facebook / Marvel News Show. Follow us, like us, leave comments. Just try to be nice about it, because we don't respond to negativity.
No.
Nope.
If you do, though, if you are really negative, I will send you a picture of my cat's dirty butt. She's so obese she can't clean it. So that's how I've started.
Have a good time with that.
That's my ban hammer.
That's some revenge right there.
I'm Matt Key at the Matt Key.
I'm Meredith Placko at mplacko.
I'm Coy Jandreau at CoyJandreau.
He's got imposters.
There's two fake me.
Yeah, there's a couple fake hymns. And we've got special guest April Walleen.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hello. What's your Twitter?
April Walleen.
But there's an at sign in front of it. Yeah.
I like to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Try.
She got the no at version. She was like, I started Twitter, so I just typed
what
my name
else?
in. People respond to me.
I'm the first.
Yeah, I was not. That's why I put the in front of mine. I was like,
That was another Matt Key?
yeah, I was like, at Matt Key. I was like, wait, but I'm the...
See,
Yeah, you're
Matt
on
Key.
the Matt Key.
I'd be safe until the imposters came to town.
Yeah, because there's no such name ever in the world as Coy
There is
Jandreau.
one of one, and yet.
I guess I just decided I liked my login for all my user stuff because Placko. I'm like, because Meredith Placko, that's too long. And I'm like, no, I don't like it. I've been in this weird thing where I want to change my Twitter name, but I don't know what to.
commitment.
Yeah.
I know.
The only thing I can think to change mine to is April Elvira.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'd like to just be me for a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Elvira, why don't you tell our fans a little bit about yourself?
Yes, April Walleen here. I won Search the Next Elvira. I'm not going to say how long ago.
But your Elvira cosplay and everything it's dead on.
Yeah,
It's dead
well,
on.
she gave me the outfit, so
Wait, did she really? I didn't know
The
that.
You were
outfit,
gifted
so.
the outfit.
Yeah. Well, she gave me a wig too. Unfortunately, it fell after a few years, so I had to. It's on its second life now. But so I go around and I do Elvira impersonations. You can book me at your party too.
But it's not. I mean, it's an impersonation, but you're also like the next Elvira. I mean, it's not like you're. Anyone can be an impersonator, but it's almost like the torch was passed on to you.
I have the official title and a crown that is tarnishing in my bedroom as we speak.
Oh my gosh, that's
That's
amazing.
so cool.
I leave it in a little sash somewhere. I don't know where I put it.
I got to moderate her panel at Wizard World in Vegas.
Oh
and
yeah, she's the nicest
Cassandra
lady
Peterson
ever.
was amazing. She's
so
super
cool.
nice. Yeah. Do you have anything else going on? I know you're a writer.
I just put out my first anthology novel on Amazon called 13 Offerings. If you like fantasy stuff and fairy tales and tweaks on mythology, then
And who
you're going to
doesn't?
love it.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you for joining us today. We're excited to I know you're a giant Deadpool fan, so we're going to get to talk about that a little bit later. But first, we've got some Civil War news we're going to talk about. We've got Jessica Jones. We're going to get to talk about Fantastic Four. Yay! But first, we're going to jump over to Sony with some Spider-Man news, where it broke this week that I believe it was Heroic Hollywood, our friends over at Heroic Hollywood, broke the story that Kraven could possibly be Spider-Man's big bad.
Which makes sense because that name's been floating around for some time. And also, I think it's, when I was at Disney last, they actually had a Kraven figure that they were promoting. And,
You're like,
We're testing the audience response. It's fun.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good first villain. I mean, I think it's a good.
He would be a
Spider-Man's training. He's getting going because Kraven's just a dude.
Yeah.
He's like the most powerful hunter, but he's still like Steve Irwin on steroids.
But it puts him at a level higher than Peter at that time, which it'll make it challenging.
My question would be, Kraven always hunted Spider-Man because of Spider-Man's. He was so notorious. Like people knew him.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would Kraven
Go after some kid that is new.
Yeah.
Oh, that kid climbs buildings. I'm gonna kill him.
Some sort of menace, I assume, in the future. Maybe he will be.
He might possibly be a menace. I'll book him now.
My favorite Kraven arc is the last hunt, and without the black suit, that doesn't work. And you also can't introduce the black suit as Spider-Man's first suit, and you also can't have Kraven going after Spider-Man's other foes with malice because you won't have them yet.
And I think I'm sorry. Let me just throw this in. The big problem with that is that Spider-Man's out of it for 3 of the 6 issues. Like, he's dead. Like, here's our new Spider-Man, but wait, it's actually Kraven for like a good 2/3 of the film, and Spider-Man rises from the dead. Yeah, let's do that.
Stuff.
Let's do that as our first Spider-Man movie.
Welcome, kids.
So is it official that they're not doing that they are doing Origin Spider-Man yet again after
it's not an origin.
Yeah.
It's not an origin.
It's like 1 year in.
So would they be able to pick up like at a point where it would make sense to bring Kraven?
Maybe. And I mean, we know that there's plenty. I mean, there's plenty of other source material that they could use, and beyond Kraven's Last Hunt. That just happens to be the most iconic. But
it's just my favorite.
Yeah, well, it's a great one. Even though it's a little weird that it's like, wait, Spider-Man rises from the dead. All right, I guess I'm behind like a spider god waking.
Fully dead.
Whatever.
So here, and again, guys, remember we are debating what happens in the comics. We know what happens in the films necessarily aren't the same.
Very true.
So I wonder if it's going to be one of those things that we know Spidey makes a cameo in Civil War. Maybe Kraven makes a cameo and they set something up for a reason there.
Possible.
Or we get an origin. Maybe we're not getting a Spider-Man origin, but we might get a year 1 Kraven in the story.
Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe he becomes a big bad. In the second film, because we know that they're doing a trilogy also.
So they could just be leading up to having him later on.
Well, let me throw out this quote from Heroic Hollywood where it said, Sony's Vice President of Creative Affairs, Karen Moy, recently purchased a copy of Kraven's Last Hunt trade paperback on Amazon. That's it.
Can I just ask how they know that? Like, are they like stalking her Amazon account?
My guess
here's
is
her
that
wish list. Let's just go through everything.
My guess is that they have someone who works in that office who was like, hey, by the way, on the sly.
That's terrifying.
That is
like someone's like looking over their shoulder, like,
what do you buy? Oh, Kraven's Last Hunt. Better call Umberto. Hey, buddy, what's up?
Nightcrawler and Blu-ray, butt plugs. Weird choices.
Okay.
I just maybe she's just a fan.
No, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
But they also said that she was buying a bunch of other stuff from Spider-Man, like all the sorts of different stuff. It's like they kind of decided to land on Kraven. Maybe she bought more of that
it's like
I'm like, what's
she could be gifting it to a Spider-Man fan for all we know.
I know, right? She's going to actually go visit some children at a hospital and give them some comics.
But they did say that this has been a precedent from that Amy Pascal started, that she would order for her or whatever. So it's possible. Certainly they're looking into Kraven, but I would also imagine they're looking into Mysterio and into Vulture and into Sand. Like, they're looking into all of them. So it's really not, to me, it's not total news.
But it's exciting. It is. I think the idea of
Mm-hmm.
Kraven is exciting. I don't know, like, the execution, because I liked in the Ultimates where he was, like, a reality TV star that wasn't taken seriously.
Yeah.
And I would love, like, drunk Jerry Butler to play that. Like, can you imagine, like, now past 300 Prime, like, Jerry Butler, like, as a reality TV Kraven?
That would be amazing.
Fantastic.
That would be amazing. Well, let's leave Spider-Man behind unless there's anything else you guys want to say.
Who would you like for a good Kraven?
Gerard Butler would be great.
Oh, you like him as serious Kraven?
I think I actually love that.
Funny Kraven.
I love that.
See him as, like, serious Kraven.
What about Ben Foster? Would he be a good Kraven?
Oh my God.
Actually, I will admit he would not be a good Kraven. With Spider-Man,
sure.
I will choose character integrity over my love of Foster.
Wow.
With Spider-Man alone.
Wow. That's impressive.
Amazing.
Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy would be great.
Right? He'd be good. Hey, I actually fan casted.
There you go. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm notoriously bad at fan casting, so
That's
on the spot.
You did good. No,
if I have like an hour to research it, I can do it, but not on the spot.
That kid that plays Hannibal, he'd be good. On the Hannibal show?
Oh.
Oh.
Mads Mikkelsen?
Yeah.
No, he's
I don't see it.
he's too mind screwy. I don't see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Somebody a little more like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I gotcha.
Somebody's got that like, I'm gonna come get you. You got to be like physically afraid of them. I would think.
Yeah,
of a
I
hunter,
think so.
You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah.
if that's like their main focus is hunting. It's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
so you see that person, you're just like, oh.
Oh, all right. Well, let's move on. Yes.
Well,
yes,
actually, I
Meredith.
want to address a fan thing about
okay.
Spider-Man. So, the Geek Knight N7 tweeted at us and
Geek
asked-
Knight?
yeah. So he's saying if Spider-Man can make web shooters, and why can't he make a professional-looking costume? And I kind of want to address that as the costume designer. Here it's okay. Making cool tech is one thing. Making like a fully sewn suit is a different skill set altogether. Like I can sew a suit. I could probably make a rubberized Spider-Man suit given the right materials. Am I going to be able to develop actual web shooters? No, it's a completely different skill set.
Completely different.
It's you're taking. One thing is tech, another is fashion. Just because you know how to screw some bolts in doesn't mean you know how to operate a sewing machine. So
And
I
vice
think,
versa.
yeah. So I think that's why I don't think we're going to see a super high-end Spider-Man costume off the bat, because he doesn't have the money or the resources to go full rubberized Spidey first. I think we're going to see like an adaptation of like the hoodie and something a little bit more low key.
Yeah,
Even though they're a year in already with it.
I think because it takes some time.
Yeah.
Unless we see like a really cute montage of him learning to sew.
Yeah.
Which it's Spider-Man. I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're
but
going-
we're not going to see that in Civil War, which is where we're going to see him
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
So probably in Civil War, we'll see like a pretty toned down, like doing his best to hide his identity sort of
Exactly.
thing, and then he'll meet Stark. They'll become friends, and Stark will help him
Yeah.
build it, or someone will help him build a suit for himself. Though, fingers crossed, they don't use the the whole Iron Spider for the trilogy, I don't think that they will.
I don't want the Iron Spider.
So,
But it
At
would
least
be
not in the beginning.
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So
that's- I just
moving
wanna
on.
address that.
Let's move on to Civil War now.
Yes.
Where so we're with Marvel now, not Ms. Marvel. That's a little bit later. Let's just actually talk about the dorky fight scene for Spider-Man. So
Gotta be dorky.
Yeah, it has to-
Spider-Man.
well, website called Birth Movies Death apparently has found out that Spider-Man has a little bit more of a cameo in Civil War. That Tom Holland himself only has a cameo, but Spider-Man
All he had to say
as
is voiceover.
Spider-Man, all he has to do is do the voiceover
Yeah.
stuff. Because a lot of people were like, "Wait, Civil War is like into filming when you're casting Tom Holland as Spider-Man, so he can only have a cameo." But no, they've got stuntmen, they've got CGI, and he's in a suit the whole time. You don't
Right,
see
all
his
the previews
face.
is done, then
Yeah.
dive in. Yeah.
So I think it's very possible that we'll have Spider-Man actually in fight scenes. And one of the quote that Birth Movies Death said was he fights, and his fight scene might be the one that gets really, might be the one that really gets fandom excited. Not because of how top tier the face-off will be, but because of how profoundly dorky and unlike any other big screen superhero fight will be.
I think that'll be great, honestly, because
He's not a fighter.
Well, yeah, and you have everybody else that is a fighter. Like
Yeah.
in Civil War, it's going to be nothing but professional, like fights and choreographed.
And
like,
everyone's
this stuff.
so cool.
Yeah, everybody's
Avengers
so
are
cool
all
about
cool,
it. They all
and
have
then he's-
military backgrounds and stuff, or they have like supersonic blasts or whatever to put on.
Yeah.
So you just have Spider-Man. He's just like, I flip around, I climb
Yeah.
on walls, eat webs.
Just try to keep up, you guys.
Well, and he's got a spider sense, so he knows something's.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
He knows,
He knows.
a punch is coming or a
Thank
laser blast
God.
is coming. He's like, oh God. And then he jumps and
Yeah.
he jumps and he jumps and then he finds a window to land a punch or two and then he's flipping around again. So yeah,
And
like
he's an actual kid now, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love a little flamey
yeah.
Spidey.
I
Yeah.
just
think it'd be nice.
think I'm skeptical because it's a site I've never heard of.
It used to be another site. It just changed.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it's a well-known site.
Okay.
It just changed the name like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. But also I don't. From what I know of Civil War, I don't see where they would even edge in more Spider-Man. I think we're going to get a cameo, and I wouldn't get our hopes up for anything more than that. Is all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're going to have lots of him fighting, but I do think I could
There'll be
see
a fight scene
where they could squeeze him in some way.
And we know Holland already shot a scene for it. And I could even see them doing a non-full Spider-Man suit with Holland doing a dorky fight scene with whatever is happening in the grand scope of Civil War that he is caught in a smaller minor battle involved. So I can see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, if he's in New York and New York's coming under attack and he's like just trying to save people, like keep himself safe or whatever else, and he just got these powers, I could see that. So speaking of Civil War still, Ruffalo appears to be in Civil War now, maybe. Like a lot of the rumors have been around that he will be. And now a German newspaper called Bild quoted, since this week, U.S. superstars Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, and Anthony Mackie, along with fellow actor Daniel Bruhl, are shooting the third part of Captain America in Berlin. I don't think that they have confirmation that he was actually on set. The only confirmation I know of was that he was at a party in Berlin.
Which, wouldn't you go?
Yeah. Like, and for all we know, like, Ruffalo was over there for 1,000 other reasons and was like, hey, I may as well go party. Friends. Yeah, so we don't have this is still not confirmation. It's just him being seen with the people who happen to be filming a scene there.
That he hangs out with probably a lot.
I would think it'd be awesome if Marvel's like, hey, go to this party to get people talking.
Oh, man. And they would totally, they would troll us that way.
They would.
I would do that.
Hey, we're talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Xavier was on set of Apocalypse. We don't know that he's in it. He was just visiting his buddy.
He was just visiting.
And why wouldn't he?
He was like, I think he was there filming something else. He was like, oh, I happen to be in town. Let's. Why don't I come by?
Yeah.
That's my.
I've actually been on a lot of sets where
good Patrick Stewart.
Phenomenal, right? Phenomenal. I'm very good at impressions.
You should just do that for a living. Go on Hollywood and do
shake my head.
Just do a Patrick Stewart.
I used to do that. Okay.
You used to do Patrick Stewart impressions?
No, I didn't. No, I used to go.
Holy crap, you're amazing.
I shaved my head and everything. Actually, I did, but not for that.
You were Moondragon.
Yes, I was totally Moondragon. That would be awesome.
So let's move over to Doctor Strange.
We're going to be talking about Doctor Strange every week until the movie comes out.
News came out and it needs to be addressed.
It did. News did come out.
News came out and we had a lot of fans tweeting at me.
So excited. It was so sweet.
I'm excited.
You guys are so nice to Matt. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being nice to me because I don't get that here at all. I get made fun of for my love of Doctor Strange, and you just wait. You just wait.
It's gonna be amazing, dude.
It's gonna blow you all away.
It's gonna be amazing. It's their Fantasia.
Yeah.
And they're all going to Matt, please tell us more. Tell us more about your...
Please tell us more. Please.
News?
About your Doctor Strange.
And can I just say also to all the fans who tweeted me and say like that they weren't too familiar with Doctor Strange until they started watching the show and now they like him. Thank you. Thank you. There's like so much validation.
I was
going to
say that's like he's finally validated.
Your love is transcending.
Finally, me like getting made fun of in high school for having Defenders books on my Trapper Keeper is paying off in giant ways. So first of all, we've got cinematographer Ben Davis. Was at a lecture this week. I can't remember what it was for. Some master class of some sort over in London. And he talked about the movie, and he says it has a very psychedelic grounding, and it's not your typical Marvel action movie. Most of the work within it is about other dimensions. And I described it, I think, when I was talking to Marvel as Marvel's Fantasia, because it's so out there and so different to everything else that's been done. So...
Yeah, influenced by MC Escher. I'm excited about that.
I cannot wait to see how they play with Doctor Strange tripping through infinite dimensions and seeing other versions of himself and other creatures.
Ditko art translated to screen.
Oh my god!
It's everything I wanted Fantastic Four to be, but we'll get there.
Not there yet.
It's a little bit later. It's a little bit later. Like another 20 minutes.
Because it's so awesome too. Because I mean, I'm so excited because this weekend is D23, which is the big Disney Expo, and Saturday is their live action panel. So we're gonna get Star Wars and we're gonna get Marvel stuff.
Wait, is that this weekend?
It's next weekend. I'm sorry.
I was like, wait, I thought it was next weekend.
It is next weekend. Yeah, whenever LOJ is. But they had an event in Africa this week, Disney Africa, where I guess there was some unveiling of Doctor Strange's new costume. We've gotten to see the concept art. Well, people got to see the concept art. And someone tweeted a really blurry photo from the screen, and now I can't find it. I saved it to show you, and now it's gone. So I think it got deleted. And And
How dare you.
I know.
Well, and
Got 'em all
a fan tweeted at me earlier like some concept art.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get it in time because I'd just seen it. But
It looked like the blurry, but I don't want to say because it was from 2014 and the signature. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Anyway, but we do have a couple tweets from that event saying Doctor Strange looks very dark, as in scraping the edge of horror movie dark.
Makes sense.
So Nick Cohen, at White Noise, spelled with a Y and a Z. His costume isn't too colorful from what I remember. Robes are blood red and green, and cap is black. I don't understand why he has a cap.
Cape.
Oh, cape.
Cape.
It says,
Cap.
it said
I know.
Cap.
And I was like, oh, he's just like he's got his driver's uniform on. That's fine.
Yeah. I was like, wait, he's got a cap? Hello, I'm Dr. Strange. Hello. Where are you going there?
Easy, Sherlock. You left that show. You're here now.
Yeah.
Come on, Benedict. Get with the focus.
Well, we haven't heard him do Cockney, so I mean, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe one of the alternate universe Stranges will be
Yeah.
a Cockney.
Hello.
Hello. Open the door. Let's go. Tap, tap, top.
I'm just going.
Yeah, that's my Doctor Strange impression.
Perfect.
Yeah. Ori House of August and all that. All right, let's go. Come some Benzaciderac. All right.
Episode 42 is just Matt doing impressions. Every segment we have is just like, who will I be in that? Yes, yes.
Okay, we legit know enough friends that do weird sketch videos. Can somebody please direct a video of you doing that?
Of me being
Matt
like,
Keith,
Yes.
the Marvel
Strange.
Universe.
Yeah. Or no, just you doing Cockney Doctor Strange.
Cockney
I
Doctor
want
Strange.
that so bad. I will watch through a YouTube ad to watch that
That's
video.
your next mission.
I went to our tomb and all that. All right, let's go.
You need to like perpetually have like a cup of tea with
Yeah.
like several like tea bags like hanging out of it.
Oh, all right. Hello.
And you need like a wool plaid suit or something.
And like to have like chimney ash
Yes.
all over my face. Yeah. So
All
anyway,
our British listeners,
we were like
we're
hating
weirdly
us.
racist.
Stereotypes. You're welcome.
Hey, I was raised by wild Brits. I get a pass on this.
Wild
And I watched Mary Poppins. I know how Cockney people are.
I still spell color with the U and people yell
I
at
spell
me.
theater
Yeah.
T-R-E.
I know,
Yeah,
they're like,
so
you're
do I.
It
pretentious.
spell checks me, and I'm like, no,
the opposite.
Yeah.
No.
I know,
That's the
everyone's
way
like,
it's spelled.
you're
And
so
gray is with an E.
Yeah,
all right?
it is.
That's just the way
I know.
the world is.
And people are like, you're so pretentious, Meredith. I'm like, no, this is how I learned to spell. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm proper.
And there is an H in herbs.
There is.
There
Okay.
is. There is. So anyway, like it's not a lot of news. We all kind of already knew that, but it is still
that's
exciting to
awesome.
know about like
It's
just
coming.
how close to the horror sort of genre that they're going with it, and how trippy it's going to be. Like trippy horror film on board.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Steve Ditko, I keep going back to like the images of his early comics on screen. If they do it even
Oh my
close to
God.
that, it's
Yeah.
going to be the most surreal experience we've ever had.
Well,
like,
did you see
Marvel.
the that one guy did like the opening credits to Doctor Strange a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago, and like he just like took old stills from the comics and like made them 3D and kind of made them
That's
move.
already enough.
So awesome.
And like he
just
brought
go back.
Dormammu's like flames to life, and like that to me perfectly encapsulates why I love
Right.
Doctor Strange so much, because it's like Captain America is like, I'm gonna throw my shield at the Red Skull, and like Iron Man's like, take this, Crimson Dynamo, and then there's Doctor Strange in a whole other freaking dimension, like, hello, giant flaming head demon, let me attack you. Like,
And like all the colors and craziness that goes along with that
Yeah.
world. Because you're already in that world, you're like, let's make it wonky.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, let's fuck.
That's like Fantastic Four.
Let's freaking go for it.
Like Fantastic Four and him both have that same like it should feel like an acid trip, and instead Fantastic Four looks like it's a day after doing too much Molly trip. Like it's just like I'm out of serotonin. I really need to like deal with this.
Not that
at
we know how
home
that works.
I need to
alone.
lay down and have some
No,
vitamin C.
I'm just, yeah, I'm not
Vitamin
saying
C.
that I want a mushroom
Yeah.
journey through Doctor Strange. I'm just saying that drugs are fun.
All right, well let's move on to television on that note. Very quickly, so John Ridley talked about how. Remember a couple weeks ago how we said he had a TV show with Marvel and ABC in development. We don't know what it is. A lot of people were like, oh, it's going to be Miss Marvel. A lot of people thought it might be Blade or Cloak and Dagger or a spinoff of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that features Deathlock.
Sure.
John Ridley said it's none of those.
So we know what it's not.
So we know what it's not, but he said it's absolutely not. He said, not to be arcane, but the rumors are truly off the mark. In a fun way, I'm just glad to be a part of the conversation. The only thing I can say about it is that I'm really in love with that project. So,
Yeah.
not a lot of news there, but we do now know, we should not be expecting Kamala Khan to be on our TVs anytime soon.
No.
I'm disappointed but I feel that Marvel knows they've got such a hot thing with Kamala right now that they're holding on for something big.
They'll do something with her eventually. At the very least, they'll give her like an awesome cartoon. Hopefully.
Yeah. Oh,
like
I
on
would
Disney
actually.
XD. That
I
would be
feel like
amazing.
she would do great in a cartoon form
Oh, she'd
because
be great.
Yeah. I feel like that's something that would be hard to translate for television,
Yeah.
given how much special effects.
Yeah.
So I would. I'd love
The budget
that.
would have to be crazy, or it would look
Yeah.
like early Smallville.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. And I know we didn't talk about because we don't talk a lot about the cartoons, but the
I love
Guardians
those.
of the Galaxy.
I love them.
Yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy intro that they posted a couple weeks ago is really awesome. I'm really looking forward to a lot of that.
So let's because I want to get to Deadpool, so let's jump over to the Netflix.
Okay.
Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Purple Man. So on Jessica Jones, the Television Association, whatever
Television Critics Association.
Thank you for
Yes.
that. Melissa Rosenberg and Jeff Loeb, who are both working on the show, had some quotes. I just want to run through them real quick. On Kristen Ritter, Rosenberg said, she goes to very dark emotional places. We beat the crap out of her. You really get to see her strength of character, not in a noble way necessarily, but she's a tough broad. Not news, but cool talking point.
Yeah.
And that's exactly that character. Like, she takes the abuse and she's like, no, she continues to stand up to it. So on Kilgrave, this is what kind of excited me, was that Jeff Loeb said, in the same way that Vincent D'Onofrio owned his half of Daredevil, you'll see David Tennant own his half of Jessica Jones. You're continually finding this incredible balance. And he also hinted that, and I don't know how this is possible with Purple Man, he hinted that we will be able to empathize with him the way that we did with Wilson Fisk.
Well, you didn't expect to empathize with Wilson Fisk either, did you?
No, you didn't.
And then you just saw it, you're just like, whoa.
Oh, this poor
that's
man.
awesome.
Like, how awkward he was.
Yeah.
And, oh, my God.
It's like they took kind of a lame bad guy from the comics and made him incredibly dark and incredibly.
They gave him a lot of depth.
Like
a lot of depth.
Yeah.
So much depth.
That was amazing.
But Purple Man, like you know what? I can rationalize empathizing with Fisk. Purple Man is going to be a tough one, and if they can sell that, you know, I'm going to be impressed. And I love that Netflix allows them to do this.
Yeah.
Like the venue, not like Netflix says we greenlight you, but the 13 stories.
Yeah. They also, Loeb talked about Mike Coulter's Luke Cage, saying it would not be Jessica Jones unless you at least understood how Luke affected her life and where she is. So we catch him early in the middle part of his journey, but we don't see his origin. They're holding on to that stuff for his actual series.
Yeah.
So where he came from and most importantly where he's going is what his series is about. That's the quote there. And then lastly on Patsy Trish Walker, aka Hellcat, Rosenberg talked about the kind of character she wanted Jessica Jones to be friends with, and that it was important that there was somebody in her life who made it look easy but not necessarily felt that way. He also said that they put a unique spin on her being a model who in the comics, what's that?
Then a child actor too or something they mentioned?
Something like that, yeah.
Like,
so in the comics, Patsy Walker was actually a romance comic in the 50s. This is actually one of my favorite sort of like weird like sort of retconning of a story. So they had Patsy Walker, they bring her forward into the future, and they say that Patsy Walker's mother wrote those comics about her daughter Patsy Walker. Which I love. So it's like almost like this weird meta thing where it's like, oh, we're reading the comics that existed in the 616 universe.
That's cool.
Written about Patsy Walker, who then grew up in love with all the superheroes around her. And like she met Beast and whatever else and went and became a superhero, like, you know,
which is nice.
Like
They could have easily just
like Daredevil.
They could have just easily swept that under the carpet, but they decided to embrace it and make it part of the character, which
It's
I
so
love.
cool. That's so cool.
If you can find a creative way to do that, do it.
So anyway, she was like a child actor and a model and like kind of renowned for these Patsy Walker romance comics that her mother wrote. So it sounds like they're going to try and do something with that in the series, which is really cool too. So
I would love if they had a way to bring Kingpin into Spider-Man. Just thinking about Kingpin.
Yeah.
Well,
he was
D'Onofrio?
I'm sure
because he was introduced on Spider-Man. He was a Spider-Man bad guy, and
Yeah.
then he went over to Daredevil and became like his big bad. But that'd be amazing if they could tie like that nod into the world.
Yeah.
Because Punisher and Kingpin are both Spidey baddies. That'd be
I
awesome.
feel they can, even if they don't. And well, D'Onofrio definitely has the chops to make it on the big screen, so they can bring him in. But I feel like they can use him in a way of like one of those minor characters that drives a story.
Yeah,
in
but
Spider-Man,
just like in a scene or just tie in the world or like run a mafia scene and have a bunch of big bads in it and like like henchmen or like henchman level characters like Hammerhead and Shocker and like Sandman, like those guys as run by Kingpin. That'd be an amazing way to tie it all in because I love Kingpin.
I wonder if his contracts allows for films because we know some of the other.
I
hope too. That'd be awesome.
And they constantly talk about the fact that they would like to be able to figure out how to do the crossover stuff, especially with the Netflix
he'd be the perfect
stuff.
character for it. Him and Punisher are great to transfer back and forth because they're street
jump around
level
so
and
much.
they're also big bad. So it would work to both universes.
Yeah.
It'd be exciting.
So let's jump over to. Is there anything else we want to talk about with Netflix before we jump over to Fox?
Nope, we're good.
Thank you, Netflix.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right? Thank you, Netflix.
Thank you, Netflix.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hashtag thanks, Netflix. So in Gambit news.
Finally, it's all.
There's the picture.
Exhausting.
Yeah,
Right?
there we go.
Is it? Yeah.
We always-
That's
your
the picture
cat.
that I will always use.
Yeah.
I saw that in the breakdown. I'm like,
Dearest,
It's your cat spirit.
Yeah, it is. Dearest Marvel movie news, Marvelites, Merry Marvelites. If someone will Photoshop this picture into a Gambit photo, I will love you forever, and we'll put it on the air next week.
well, you just put a jacket. You can only put the jacket on
exactly,
there. You
but
can't,
you have
cover
to keep
the torso.
the abs. Yeah.
Or just him in like the tunnels with
I don't.
Morlocks.
You know what? Add some playing cards. I don't care. I just.
plus Morlocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to keep the bow tie.
Yes.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Oh, you gotta
God,
keep
yes.
the bow tie. Yeah.
Basically,
No,
I want Gigolo Gambit. That's what I want.
I-
My
Maybe that'll be
birthday.
part of his arc. I don't know.
Yeah.
it is so funny because I can't see that picture without thinking like meow. Like I see it. I imagine Channing Tatum sitting there going meow.
Aww.
And I'm pretty sure you're the only one.
Yeah,
But that's
probably
awesome.
so. Probably so. Anyway, he's Gambit. Like he's
Yes.
confirmed to be Gambit. Everything got worked out. He will be Remy LeBeau. So.
Or it was
because I
a.
was so upset that week was so exhausting.
I'm like
'Cause I love
PR
it.
stunt, PR
It's a
stunt.
great one.
Yep.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I saw him I was working in Hall H. I saw him backstage.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, oh, they are actually. Okay, cool. Like, I was just like, all right. Like, he's all
That's
sitting there with
so
a salty
cool.
stick, like, playing. I'm like,
I think they had to make up some drama because they didn't want anyone talking about Fantastic Four.
well, they mentioned also, like, from what I read with the, the drama with the contracts and stuff was like, same thing they did with Chris Evans, which
Yeah.
was the whole, like, well, you're kind of signing on for X
A
amount
lot.
of movies. So it's kind of like, hey, we own you cinematically, for X amount of time.
Yeah.
Just FYI that,
Just-
so if you want to do anything else,
Well,
sorry.
the only reason
So
he
I
did
understand.
G.I.
but-
Joe 2 is because of the contract. Like,
Yeah.
he found out he had done a
So
bunch
there's
of like
scars there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think he was just a little gun shy because he had done a bunch of amazing movies. G.I. Joe happened, and then later on they called him like, "Hey, you have to do G.I. Joe 2," and he was like, "No, no, no." And they were like,
no.
"Yes, yes, yes," and that's why he was in it for like 11 minutes. And
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine what kind of stress that would be to be
yeah.
be a good actor and then be like, "Oh, we own you." Like, it's
Yeah.
terrifying. So I get it.
It's like a weird rehashing of the studio system. Like
Yeah.
they found a way to
Yeah.
beat
To like somehow be
the
like,
laws. Yeah.
it's terrifying.
Yeah. Anyway, let's jump over to X-Men. Just in general, no apocalypse news this week. There's a really cool picture of Storm in Cairo and everything, but you can look that up on your own. James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender might have extended their X-Men contracts.
I love those guys.
Yes.
They're so funny.
Heroic Hollywood reported on that also. It's not confirmed, but apparently there was a meeting over the weekend where they confirmed they're in talks to extend their contracts. So
We're losing so much money on this movie coming out next week. We will give you guys more money to keep coming back. It all ties
so
in.
good,
It all
man.
ties in,
I'm
guys.
so happy that they
I
might be
know.
coming
it
back.
really kind of
It really
I mean, you
does.
think
Sadly.
on both sides they'd be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, yeah," and they're like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
Like it's just, I think the conversation would be pretty simple. It's like, you
Yeah.
want it? Duh.
yeah, duh.
They seem to have so much fun in the press tours. They seem to
Oh,
like
yeah.
really be like real life bromance. And that
they're
whole
hilarious to
team,
watch.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, and James McAvoy, talk
It's a
about
live wire.
like, oh my God, at Hall H, he
Oh, yeah.
killed me. Like when he was talking about the Frankenstein film that Landis
yeah.
wrote. Oh my God. We just like to build trucks and be good, or build monsters and be good Christians. Like, oh my God, he killed me. He was so funny. So yeah, that's exciting.
Yay.
And I love their portrayal of the characters. I think they do a great job.
I just
so.
have to get rid of the heroin subplot. That bullcrap.
Yeah.
That was my biggest problem with Days of Future Past was like, hey, he can walk because he's a junkie. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That's the
Yeah.
amazing end of Days of Future
mean-
Past. I mean, of the of X-Men First Class, where they're like, that's an amazing way to tie in that
Yeah.
arc, and don't have to have the Savage Land. You have this bullet. It's beautiful, and then
Yeah.
there's like, let's ignore that good bit of writing.
They should have just made it the mutant growth hormone, because that would have been a great subplot for something else.
Yeah, that's a laying Easter eggs. That's a great
Yeah.
idea. But what did
Why
they do?
didn't they do that?
I don't, because I didn't have any input on the
Meredith,
script. Apparently,
Meredith, get in there
I
and give
know,
input.
right?
Get in the writer's
Come on,
room,
Fox.
Placko.
I will work for. I won't work for your news division, but I'll work for your X-Men division.
Unbelievable! I can't
Start the
believe you,
movement.
3 times I've turned
Meredith. I
down
can't
that
believe
job.
you.
No, for Fox. No.
Real quick, the X-Men TV series is closer to a reality. They spoke with a Hollywood Reporter, I believe, at the Critics Association thing.
TCA.
X-Men, we're in negotiations with Marvel. We're hopeful that some will be able to announce something soon. We're not closed on a deal yet, but it's something we're definitely pursuing, and that's from Fox Television Group Chairman and CEO Dana Walden.
You know what makes me happy? They're talking to Marvel. Like we are having conversations, words, not throwing poop at each other.
I love that.
Yeah.
The Sony thing really broke ground.
yeah.
The Sony
Yep.
Marvel thing happening, because that's revolutionary in any studio system, much less this giant of one. So I'm glad Fox is like, well, maybe we should talk to them.
Well, and Fantastic Four might twist their arm a little bit more.
I'm saving on my rage.
Do you think Fox sent Marvel like one of those fruit baskets with the chocolate covered pineapples on them?
I think after
said, I'm sorry.
the Sony thing, yeah.
I'm sorry.
The boss is like, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You had a chance to talk to them and you didn't.
you didn't?
Yeah, you do that now.
Go do that.
I would love
just
to
how I
have
pictured
someone
it.
at Marvel that knows the comics really well involved, because X-Men are perfect for serialized TV. There's so many characters.
yeah.
It's so deep, the 60 years of continuity with 10 titles.
Well, the cartoon went forever.
And
I love
there's
that
no
cartoon.
end of options to do. So I think they can make a show better than the movies, and they could actually make it more X-Men-like. I've been very vocal in the fact that I love Bryan Singer's mutant movies. I don't think Bryan Singer's ever made an X-Men movie. I would love a good X-Men show. I think Bryan Singer makes great films. I love the X-Men movies, but I'd love to see a true X-Men show.
Yeah, like X-Men, like from
Kitty
the comics.
Pryde's not sending Wolverine back through time in my show.
Yeah.
I think it'd be amazing. I think they have a lot of potential, and I love that Fox is open to Marvel. It's great. Thank you, Fox.
Well, at least the television divisions are trying to work together. Yeah.
And once again, we have that weird
Fox
divide
film,
between film and TV, like DC has. So I hope that TV is more like.
Do you think we'll get like our X-Men as we know them? Because with seeing them in the films, are they going to want to stick with that? Yeah, stick with the TV show.
I think they'll have probably a different team, because we're now finally getting a first class-esque team in the movies. I don't think they'll have multiple continuity.
I think they'll do X Factor investigations.
That's what I want.
Oh my god!
I don't think it makes sense to have like 2 Jean Greys, 2 Cyclops. It doesn't. I mean, why would you?
Why would you?
DC's doing that. It's a little confusing,
and it's not fun for the fans that are casual fans, because it's really alienating.
It is.
Yeah.
So I hope they go with really cool mutants, because they have hundreds, and they just make a really smart show.
Now, would you want? Oh, sorry, April.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's kind of like a roulette. It's like, who do you want to go with today?
There's so many X-Men that are never going to get the time of day in a movie, because there's like so much Hugh Jackman time to come.
It's true. Now, would you want to see an X Factor
Oh.
Investigations or like a more crazy X Force?
X-Force would be like R-rated. So if Netflix was doing a show, I would love an X-Force show with Cable leading Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds running around Netflix. That's something I'll only ever have as a dream, because I don't think that'll happen. But as a show, I think X-Factor is more conducive to mainstream television.
X-Factor would be better for like a primetime sort of show.
Because you could have a detective show, you could have an action show, you could have your Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You could even have like a some courtroom drama. I
you
wouldn't want so much, but
you could have there's a lot of flavors. Whereas R-rated's one flavor.
And then we get
not really.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just say who would your dream cast be for that? Not actors, but
mutants.
Which characters?
Well, X Factor. I would love to see Strong Guy. I would love to see Siren. I would kill to see Multiple Man.
Well, he's one of my top 5.
Yeah, I think
Mavericks would have to lead it.
Version of X Factor. Multiple Man.
And I mean, talk about like a relatively easy effect. Like, just
it's camera edits. It's almost you can almost get it out.
Well, they do it with
Orphan Black.
Orphan Black, so they can. Well,
I mean, was Rogue ever a part of the team?
No, Jean joined for a bit.
For them to get Rogue back in the game, because it's like she's just like in the movies for like little blips, and like I want the Rogue I know.
I don't think they're using Rogue in the new Bryan Singer phase 2, so to speak. So they can use Rogue in the show.
Yeah, I would love to see him use, and that's another power that's relatively easy to use, unless you give her the whole like Ms. Marvel, like
the full
stolen power, which I would love to see in a movie. But if they put her on TV, like I'd be okay with her just like stealing powers from people periodically. Like Like,
would
she's
stick
still
with
like
that.
multiple man's powers, like, and she could multiply
fun.
now. That would be
Yeah.
And
amazing.
they're already going into like alternate like universes of stuff with Days of
Yeah.
Future Past and stuff. I mean, why not? I mean, you
The
can kind of
budget's gonna have to be huge, or the show's gonna look awful.
Yeah.
The budget's
Yeah.
gonna have to be crazy.
It'd have to be-
There's,
yeah.
there's, I mean, Generation
CW
X
can get away with it.
Generation X
Yeah.
is so much fun. Remember that made
Yeah.
for TV
Oh, yeah.
movie.
Oh my
that thing
God,
is
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
it's so
every
bad.
dollar was like, oh no,
Yeah.
we need
I
that
know,
dollar.
they would need a bigger budget than, let's say, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has.
yeah.
Very fair. So Star Trek 3 screenwriters Patrick McKay and J.D. Payne are working on that, along
Oh.
with Evan Katz and Manny Koto as the showrunners, and they did 24.
Oh.
Okay.
There's a lot of good
Yeah.
giant
Sure, yeah.
names
That's
behind it.
good.
There's a lot of people, so my money is on X Factor.
Yeah, that's with that kind of team. You
And
would
that's
think.
been
Yeah.
Yeah.
rumored before, so it makes
Yeah.
sense.
And so the only other thing that I could possibly see them doing would be like a New Mutants sort of thing, like a new school of some sort, if they wanted to try and get into a bit.
Emma Frost. Not
Well, yeah,
January.
Generation X would work. Like Generation
Yeah.
X as another
Yeah.
thing would be great.
Yeah. So I could see them doing something like that too. But X Factor is
Robert Pattinson as Chamber.
Oh.
Okay.
It'd be fantastic.
yeah.
It's got the accent, got the mess, got the charisma, got the draw.
Yeah.
Chamber. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I'm down.
All right.
I'm down. So let's talk about Fantastic Four real quick.
All right,
have
let's
to?
do this.
So first of all, I don't have the exact quote, but earlier this week, Miles Teller defended the movie.
Of course he did.
As he's contractually obligated to do.
Yeah.
Simon Kinberg did the same thing. In fact, I think the way Teller said it was, look, the critics are going to hate it, but it's still a good movie.
Yeah, seriously, it seemed more
Yeah.
more like an apology than
Yeah.
than an actual like
But Fox,
defense. I'm like,
Fox is totally like doing damage control
yeah.
already.
Let's see, guys. Let's check the latest Rotten Tomato score
geez.
on it.
10%? They were at 10%.
We are at. Let me go back from some Doctor
this is
Strange
so
stuff.
bad. This
we
is
are
so-
at the tomato meter 10%. It's actually been going down since this morning.
Yeah,
no.
it's going down from 17%.
But 96% want to see it.
I hope that number goes down.
people are gonna go
Yeah.
see it. That's interesting. That's
I'm
the
gonna,
interesting
I'm
thing.
gonna pay to go see it tomorrow. Like I'm going to, but
If you're watching this, Fox, I'm going to buy a ticket to another movie and sneak in.
just so that you don't get the
Yeah.
money from
Let the
it.
record show, I'm going to see Deadpool 9 times. So you'll get your money, just not Fantastic Four money.
This is one of those issues I have because yes, we work as a critic commentary group. We did not get invited to any screenings. It is kind of our jobly obligation to go see this movie, but we have to do it out of our own pocket. And I don't like to support things with money that I don't believe in.
Yeah.
So I'm very conflicted about this because I know I need to watch it to be able to talk about it, but I don't want to give them money for this.
Yeah, this is like akin to paying for
Yeah.
a Scientology summit to me.
It really is.
Like, this is really going to hurt
you've
me.
never been to a Scientology summit.
You know,
It's
I'm
gorgeous.
trying,
It's
man.
Maybe.
I got so many
amazing. You
Thetans
should
in
go.
me.
Maybe if they were going to show Fantastic Four at one of the Scientology centers, then I can just go kill two birds with
Maybe
one stone.
it would make more
There you go.
sense in that
Yes.
environment.
Yeah.
Like a double feature with like some other movie that you need to watch that
Exactly.
you don't want to.
Battlefield Earth
Yeah.
and Fantastic
Perfect.
Four at the Celebrity Center Saturday night.
Together again, just like you wanted. You demanded it, we gave.
John Travolta and Miles Teller just sauntering up. What's going on? I can't believe, like, we gave our estimations last week. I was saying like the 15% range.
Yeah.
I cannot believe we might have a single-digit Rotten Tomato score on this. Like, I've thought from the beginning it looked bad, but I was really hoping I was
Yeah.
wrong. And now that the reviews are coming out and they're aggressively bad, I've never read so many people use so many different synonyms for awful. Like,
Yeah.
it's like these reviewers are so stoked to get the sources out and be like, that guy said abysmal. I'm gonna say horrific. It's horrific.
Yeah.
It's horrific.
Like, it's insane.
Now I'll say, like, I read some tweets from some non-industry people who saw it and said it's fun, it's really great, we really love it. And then I think the more realistic, a couple of my buddies over at like IGN and stuff who saw it said it's mediocre at best.
I think
Yeah.
the third act falls apart in such a major way.
And I think what happens is it's so very obvious where Josh Trank had control of the movie and where it was taken away from him. Mm-hmm. I that's what I've been told, is that it looks like it was directed by two different people.
Yeah.
And
That's
like
what
there's
I've
a
heard,
certain
too.
part where it just like
Yeah.
flips.
I just worry that Josh Trank never had control. Like, I feel like his Chronicle's great, but Chronicle was Max and Josh Trank. That was two.
Yeah.
That was two
Yeah.
very, very intelligent, very strong, very like that's a very and it's a smaller movie, less
smaller. It was
so
less.
you have much more control all
yeah.
around. So I feel like him going from like a movie that's a commentary on superhero movies to a superhero movie must have been like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't get to say yellow or blue. Like
Now,
it's-
did Max ever have? We're discussing Max Landis, writer. Did he ever have a chance to work on Fantastic Four with this, or was that not ever?
if you go on Max's Twitter, he's
Yeah.
an amazing pitch for Fantastic Four.
Really?
I mean, I don't want to speak out
Yeah.
of place. I know that his script for Fantastic Four, I don't want to talk about except for what he's tweeted because I don't want to speak out of place.
And I
It's
was actually referring to his tweets, but just
awesome.
you know him.
Go
so.
to his Twitter
Okay.
and his stuff is great, and that
it's
way I'm not getting in trouble.
up to my
Up to my knees. Check
Okay.
out Up to My Knees. His Fantastic Four idea, even like the idea of them being called the Fantastic
Yeah.
Four is because the ship's called the Fantastic, so the media dubs them
my
Fantastic
God.
Four.
That's so cute.
So,
That's
like,
so adorable.
That's so
it's
great.
already
Yeah.
in the right
Yeah.
genre more than this is.
You need
Yeah.
to. You need to. He should come on.
Yeah, we'll get
I-
Max at some point.
Yeah.
Sorry, one of our fans tweeted. One of our fans saw Fantastic Four,
Oh.
and they tweeted me their thoughts to me. So I'm trying to find that real quick. But
Everyone tweet at Max. Tell him to drive to the valley.
Yeah, and I do apologize to all of our fans that wanted us to go see it. We just couldn't get into any. You know,
there were no screenings.
Yeah, it was, as we said last week, it was really tight, and apparently, as always, we're not cool enough to get.
And I'm not here next week, fans, so
Yeah.
you will get my rage a week late. It will have
Oh, boy.
stewed, it will have boiled, it will have festered, and it will be real.
Take
It
a
will
video and we'll put
explode.
it in. Let's just drop a video
I'll
of
just
you
walk
in.
out of the theater and
Yeah.
just film and be like, live rage.
So angry the camera's shaking.
Yeah, if we can
It's
get
like-
Max to drive an hour up into the valley, we'll get
Yeah.
him on the show and we'll have him talk all sorts of comic stuff.
Oh man, Max he scares me with how smart he is.
I love you, Max.
He is.
It was his birthday Monday. Happy birthday.
I know.
Aw.
Yeah.
Went to the zoo and stuff.
I only know him from parties and where he inadvertently runs me over. Because I always tend to be in front of someone he knows and wants to hug, and so I just get like I'm like,
hey, how's
I was
it
like,
going?
hey,
And
I'm
then
like,
okay, bye.
yeah, I'm like, I don't know you, it's okay, but I'm like, at least you didn't crush me. This
I'm really
time.
curious what Josh does next after this. Because
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
how,
not
like the
Star Wars.
trajectory of like Chronicle to like 90%, 10%. Like if you add their scores together, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious where Fantastic Four goes. I'm curious how it affects the bubble. Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody's talking about the comic bubble like bursting. I'm really curious
Yeah.
how this affects the genre in general and Fox because the Deadpool trailer has been watched 8 million times in 24 hours. They might make more off their YouTube hits on the Deadpool trailer than they will on Fantastic Four, and that would make me so happy.
Yeah.
In a world like where I control monetary things, Deadpool wins opening
Yes.
weekend on YouTube.
Wow.
Like that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's killing it.
Yeah, the Deadpool. We're gonna get to that in one
Yeah.
second.
After Rage.
Did you find your quote?
I didn't. It's far too down. But they again, Fantastic Four or Fox is hedging their bets with kittens. So remember they were saying like, oh yeah, Fantastic Four and X-Men are going to exist in the same
3
universes.
weeks ago, Brad said it was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
might happen, you guys.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Kinberg just today said, no, they exist in parallel universes. The Fantastic Four live in a world without mutants, and the X-Men live in a world without the Fantastic Four.
And what's adorable?
Arm's length.
yeah.
Can somebody hand me Doom here?
Doom.
This is something I want to illustrate because photos of Doom have surfaced. This is what Dr. Doom looks like without his mask.
Yeah.
He's got a scarred up, jacked up face.
He's not a glow-in-the-dark crash test dummy? Because
He
that's what I've
is
seen.
not
Yeah.
a glow in the
Because
dark
to me, he
crash
looks like a
test.
crash test dummy that someone dropped their glow light on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then he just
What's like
linked.
the weird little beady,
I
like
don't
just
know.
you, like that, just like that. Oh
And
my God.
I totally am one of those people that the movies do not have to reflect the comics if they are
Verbatim.
told
If they're done
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all that matters being
And
done
and Fox has never really like followed the comics, but we've still enjoyed the X-Men films.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
yeah, like I
so-
said, they're different, but
they're different, but it's
I
a different
enjoy them so
medium,
much.
so we get behind it. It's like, all right, we'll forgive like that you had to use like not Kitty Pryde, like whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
that's still one of my favorite comic movies ever made, and
Yeah,
it
it's
is
a great
nothing like
film.
Days of Future Past. So I will be,
Yeah.
and that's Fox. That's like every time people are like, Marvel must pay these guys. I love Fox's things when they do it right. It's not by the studio; it's by the talent involved. And
Exactly.
the cast for Fantastic Four is incredible. How they could have been in another movie.
well, so that brings up an interesting point. A lot of people have tweeted at me saying like, hey, so now that the movie's gonna bomb, do you think that Fox will let the rights lapse back to Marvel?
I think we need a time.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. As much as Marvel would love to get those back and maybe get Galactus
Yeah.
and the Skrulls and whatever else, I don't think that Fox is going to let them go because they've got such an amazing cast. So I think what
Right.
they'll
Yeah.
probably do is be like, look, here's the origin. You get it. we can just jump into the sequel and just let it kick ass with a different director.
They had set a date up and everything already. Like,
Yeah.
they had to
So
be like, they'd planned this.
The fact that they knew what they knew that they had a stinker, and they still set up a sequel, that to me says, we think that we can work with this cast. We think that if we had a better director helming it, or someone that we had a better relationship with. So, like, I think there's been rumors that, like, Singer's going to come in and do the sequel or whatever else. So
he's their Whedon.
I'll
fix it. I'm sorry.
But if it's that bad and they go that far off of the mark, which it seems kind of like they're going, like
they did that with Wolverine Origins, guys. We all, I mean, that movie was
and Wolverine. Wolverine was fun.
So I hated the Wolverine.
I liked the first two acts of the Wolverine.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. It wasn't great, but it was better than Wolverine Origins.
Oh, it was far better than Wolverine Origins.
But we've all forgotten that movie.
They've also made, I mean, Fantastic Four got a sequel, you guys. Rise of the Silver Surfer happened. We don't want to admit it, but that happened.
It happened.
Like,
it was awful.
And the first one wasn't a good movie.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid we're going to get Paul Blarded. Like, I'm just afraid a movie with 10% Rotten Tomatoes is going to do well because America is questionably taste.
Yeah.
Like, I worry that there's people in mid-America that are like, Flame Boy, and it's going to do well. Like, I'm worried that it's just going to tie into the simple-minded comic fans more than like the diehard fans, and then we'll get a generation of movies that aren't good and are comic movies. We'll go back to the 70s, like.
But Marvel or Fox is picking up. I mean, what they're giving us with Days of Future Past and what we're seeing out of Apocalypse is fantastic. We'll get to it in like 2 seconds. Deadpool is going to probably be like, what I'm just going to say, it might be my favorite comic book adaptation of all time based on what I've seen. And that's not a lot, but that's a lot to go on.
Yeah.
I feel that Fox is realizing, okay,
we need to go this direction.
Yeah, we got to get this tight because people are taking these movies seriously now.
Yeah.
We need to find a happy medium.
Fantastic Four is made please. Fantastic Four is right now. It's not like this was like a 10-year, like they knew movies were getting better, and this is still made in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Avengers already happened. We've already had Marvel show them how it should be done, and it's still like, what happened?
Yeah. What were you going to say, April?
I think they need to find a happy medium. Like, they need to find that, like, okay, we're not just trying to get, like, you know, a bunch of other people that are like, oh, I kind of like superheroes, like, you know, but not ignore the diehard fans that, like, you know, love the comic books and stuff like that. Like, there is a happy medium there that you can totally ride without going completely in one direction or the other.
Yeah.
So
I would love if Brad Bird directed it, because The Incredibles is already a Fantastic Four movie.
Exactly.
It's not live action now.
I was just going to say, somebody, and I don't remember who it was, tweeted, like, guys, we already have a great Fantastic Four movie. It's called The Incredibles.
Yeah.
And Brad Bird's doing live action now. Get Brad Bird and that cast together. Fantastic Four 2, here's my money.
Yeah. All right. Well,
okay. All right. Let's go on to good things, please.
Jump over to Fox doing it right with Deadpool. Go. You guys have fun.
There's a shot in the Deadpool trailer where he gets shot in the arm and looks through it, and that moment alone is worth waiting the years we've waited for Deadpool to exist. Like, and him singing on the bridge. Like, there's just every moment in that trailer. I remember being on the show and saying that I thought 80% or 70% of the SDCC stuff was good. I think they fixed all of my problems. The pacing feels better. The jokes feel funnier. Like, everything it feels perfectly succinct. I think that this might be the best comic adaptation of all time, like you were saying. This has potential to be an A+.
Yeah.
I know you're a Deadpool fan. I'm not going to rant forever.
Oh, that's okay. No, I'm super excited about it. I mean, I've read a bunch of the comic books, and it does go a little, like, random. That's one thing I'm slightly worried about, is that I'm like, please don't be, like, you know, an hour-long fart joke. But from all of the stuff that I've seen, I mean, it really, like, I'm interested in the characters. Like, I think like, the whole story arc is looking really good. And the jokes they hit so well.
The pacing's a lot better in this trailer. And the fight choreography is incredible.
Nice.
Him jumping out of the SUV and that spin looks beautiful. And we've talked about the costume, how it's perfect in every shot. Like, in motion, it's even more amazing somehow. That trailer is literally, I've watched it so many times, and it's better than any comic movie I've seen in a long time. It's just a trailer.
And it's just a trailer.
Yeah.
Like, it has so much potential.
Well, it's got potential, but it's also like it's got fans who made it. Like Tim Miller, like the fact that Tim Miller and Ryan Reynolds cried when they saw the suit. Like,
I think we cried when we saw
in
this
24 hours shows that when you have fans make something, fans respond.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they love the source material.
Yeah.
They
know it.
Yeah, they know it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and we'll talk about this. Well, screw it. We'll talk about it now. Like the fact that they're already talking about doing a sequel with Cable. Like,
oh god, that the scene with Cable when he Colossus. Excuse me, he comes in. I'm like.
And he's a full-grown man, Colossus. Like, he's already an X-Man. He's already got the suit. He's like a 40-year-old beast of a dude. Like, I love that Colossus is just like, it's amazing.
So somehow, somewhere, someone give me a Magic Now Give me Ileana.
Oh,
Because we have Colossus, and I want
That'd be
Ileana, and I want
amazing.
that.
Well, and by the way, talking about Ileana, just to throw this in, that would be like Fox's answer to Doctor Strange, because
Yeah.
she's
That's true, absolutely.
like she's
and
like
she's
if
a
Doctor
Sorcerer
Strange
Supreme
does
at times.
really well, like she's training. She's been mentioned as a possible.
Okay.
Well, she's
She's
even
doing
training.
Sorcerer
She's
Supreme.
even
She's
training under
training
him.
with- yeah.
With the
Right.
last run
In the
before we
current,
did
yeah.
Battle World. But yeah, just my things real quick on the Deadpool trailer. What I love so much, and Marvel's done a great thing where they've taken this comic book thing and made it reality. All their costumes look very like, yes, they're iconic. Yes, they're kind of, what man really walks around in like a red, blue, and white, armor suit. But these are superheroes and they're symbols. Deadpool makes it comic book real.
It works.
I mean, this is a all intents and purposes a spandex suit,
Yeah.
and it works so
Like,
well.
that guy walking down the street, you're just like, that guy's crazy.
Yeah.
But he's crazy because he's Deadpool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's just something about like that, almost like how fictional and cartoony the suit looks in the real world that works so well for
Yeah.
me.
And the matte coloring makes
Yeah.
it look always almost CGI, which is even more amazing, and it's not.
Yeah.
Every time he moves, you can't tell what's CG, what's him, and it's
Yeah.
mostly him. And I loved his makeup. Like,
Yeah.
he looks
Oh, yeah.
amazing. Like Wade Wilson, all like
Yeah.
messed up, was
when he looks
exactly
like an
what I pictured.
avocado that
Oh,
had
yeah.
sex with an older avocado.
Yes.
I was actually worried about what they were going to do with the makeup
Yeah.
because if you've read the comic books, I'm sorry,
way they destroyed
Don't worry about
They
it.
can take naps.
But in the comic books, it's like depending on the artists, like you get all sorts of different renditions, and I was really afraid that they were going to go like Jackie Earle Haley and like the new Freddy Krueger,
yeah.
where it's like
Yeah.
the nose is basically gone. You can
Yeah.
almost kind of see through the flesh parts,
He
and it's
works.
like it looks like Ryan Reynolds, but he's scarred up and like, and I'm just
Super,
like,
yeah.
good. You can still like he's still a person,
And
like
we get to
like
see-
recognizable. Like,
Yeah, and we get to see pre-cancer scarred Deadpool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and the chronology in the movie apparently jumps around a lot. I was reading this interview. Empire had this interview, which I actually don't recommend you read. I stopped reading it 3 blurbs in because it gives away so much.
Does it really?
I read 3 sentences and was like, I don't want to know this, and I can't wait for this movie. Tim Miller talked to Empire and broke down it shot by shot, but it's so revealing. So I'm just gonna say one thing.
Probably because
Yeah.
he's so
He's so excited.
about
No, I
it.
don't
like,
begrudge him. I'm just,
Yeah.
I was as a fan, like, I don't want to know. Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
But he talks about how the chronology jumps around, and that first time we see him pre-scar isn't the first time we meet him, and the timing is like over the course of like 5 years, and it plays.
that I could see,
Wow.
So that's
but
interesting.
that's going to work well with given the character and the breaking
Oh,
of the
yeah.
fourth wall. I think that's going to actually craft
He
a
can
good
bring
story.
us on the journey.
Yeah.
Deadpool can tell me about Deadpool in a movie.
Yeah,
It's true.
So excited.
I think it's going to be so interesting to see how they deal with that whole breaking of the fourth wall and stuff because they only like show little bits of it in like the
Very small
preview and
glimpses,
stuff.
yeah.
And
Apparently
you're just
Wade
like,
Wilson never breaks the fourth wall. Only Deadpool does, which I also love. That when he puts on the mask, that's when he's talking to us. Everything I
Yeah.
learn, the more excited I get.
Yeah. Well,
and
but-
the violence, my God, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
like so bloody.
But I want to go back to what you said real quick. We do see him like marginally break the fourth wall, but in a very meta way.
Green Lantern?
When he says,
Yes.
"Please don't
yeah.
make the super suit green or animated."
animated.
Like, so like even then, the movie is self-aware.
And he talks about that in the
But-
interview, how that was the closest they got, and they were worried, but the joke was so funny. There's also apparently a 20-minute rant about Green Lantern to Colossus. So Deadpool, there's a
yes.
20-minute rant of Deadpool in Deadpool costume talking about how bad Green Lantern was to Colossus, and he's like, I don't know if I can use it, but it's going to be in the DVD because clearly Ryan had some therapy to work out. So there was 2 days of them filming where Ryan Reynolds was just upset about Green Lantern getting out of his system. Maybe you should read the interview. It's fine. Yeah, it's insane. I'm so
my
excited.
God.
I want the director's cut DVD right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
February is soon, guys.
Well,
Oh my God.
let's
Best Valentine's
talk
Day
about
ever.
let's talk about Colossus real quick. Like
Yes.
he looks so good.
Oh my
Like,
God.
CG is
in
perfect.
fact,
I
I,
love
believe it
Colossus,
was
too.
Yeah.
Matt Cook tweeted out Colossus ticket bot. Like that's all he said.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause,
Yeah.
I mean, Colossus
Yeah.
is
It's
his
his-
like
it's
He's not a
Deadpool
Deadpool
or
guy.
Doctor Strange. Like he's a giant Colossus fan, and yeah, I mean that's Colossus.
That's Colossus.
No, it is.
And I mean, we can't really see the colors very well, but like. He's got like the kind of like dark red and black.
Yo,
like,
I didn't
X-Men
notice it.
suit.
I didn't notice it.
Oh, you didn't notice he was in the X-Men
I
costume.
didn't realize that in the
Yeah.
trailer. I just noticed
Yeah.
that now in the.
He's full on an X-Men suit, you guys.
Yeah.
And they did it.
No, and but that means like he's in the X-Men.
Yeah,
Like,
Yes,
the
no,
X-Men
he's
exist
in
in
the
this
X-Men
world.
Yeah.
exist in this world, which
Yeah.
means that Negasonic is probably like I think I
She's got a
remember
new
reading
mutants outfit
something
on.
like
She looks different. She's in a different costume.
yeah, but I think that like she's training with Colossus to be in the X-Men. I
But,
think
but
that's
wait,
something
wasn't
they're playing
wasn't
with.
Negasonic part of Emma's?
She was?
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
don't
But
I
have
mean, they're
him in
gonna
this.
change all that.
No, but I'm just saying that could tie into her TV show. I'm just saying.
If they say
guys.
over Emma, Meredith's the loser.
I know.
Yeah.
She's
That's-
excited for that moment.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Well,
It's
I
exciting.
mean,
I
that's
get it.
like
Emma's your Deadpool.
Emma's my Deadpool.
I get
So
it. It's exciting.
yeah.
And if on the subject of magic, I think Saoirse Ronan would be an awesome magic.
Yes.
Yeah, she would be. She
Yes.
would be
I
amazing.
wanted her as Jean Grey, so now they can use her as magic.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay with
I think
that.
she would be better.
I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
She has that
As magic. And Negasonic is apparently like just deadpan the whole time.
Yeah.
That eyebrow man.
I love her. Look at
that.
That's so
That's awesome.
perfect.
Like making her like giving Deadpool a telepath.
Oh,
that
dear.
is
Yeah, oh, yeah.
deadpan.
A little goth
Especially
girl.
a young one. It's
Yeah.
like, oh dear.
Oh my god.
It's going to
Good.
get bad quickly.
Do we have that thing I sent you?
We do. You,
okay.
Take it and run.
So in my 14th viewing of the trailer, I noticed that in the beginning of the trailer, you see Ryan Reynolds in a tube going through the Weapon X program, and it's like when he's transforming, and you see the lady here in the same tube. So I'm wondering if they kidnap her and this is how Copycat is born.
Oh.
It's very quick. It's very small
it's
to
very
the side.
quick. I didn't notice it until you pointed it out to me yesterday.
Dude, I probably watched a feature-length version of the Deadpool trailer by watching it enough
so
times
funny.
because I'm so excited.
I love you.
But yeah, if you look off to the side here, so clearly she is taken and maybe transformed, and that's how we might get Copycat.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to say, he wants to do right by someone. So this could be, that whole narration could be later in the film.
So you
Yeah.
might actually get to see like a legit copycat
Yeah.
in the movie.
Third act would
That'd
be
be
great.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
As long as they don't third act the Wolverine us and give us a crazy like Viper, which was just
Yeah.
ridiculous. But I don't
Yeah.
think they will. They know better. They learn.
Yeah, they've learned.
This movie looks so good.
And it's not the studio. It's like the
Yeah.
fans who like Ryan Reynolds and
Yeah.
Rhett Reese, who's a giant fan.
And
like,
they made this for like $8.
Yeah.
So like hopefully
I know.
the studio doesn't have too much.
oh man,
like,
they're gonna make their money back on the first day.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to show them what an R-rated thing can do,
Yeah.
what fans can make if you let them have a little bit of freedom. I think this might be the Edgar Wright's Ant-Man. I think this
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
prove that, letting them have a little freedom and not
Yeah.
trying to tie it so into the universe that you lose your creative output. This might be the
Yeah.
best thing to happen in comic movies.
And I do wish that Fox would figure out that they don't need to have the Fantastic Four to have an extended universe.
no, X-Men is huge.
Yeah.
X-Men is
bigger than the
massive.
Avengers, arguably.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
massive.
Like they could do 2 films a year also.
Oh, easily. And a TV show. And it all tied together.
Yeah.
And keep the cast. And signing people for 9 movie contracts.
Yeah.
Just make it awesome. Make it
Yeah, like so let Marvel have Fantastic Four back. You guys can have the X-Men. It's fine.
Such
I
an
would love it
extensive
if-
universe. There's so many characters.
Yeah.
It's just nuts.
Marvel, Avengers, Fox, Mutants.
Yeah.
Go nuts.
Yeah.
Done.
Exactly.
Done. I'm fine with that. They have the Inhumans.
Here's
Take
your
it and run.
billion-dollar industry. Just do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have an R-rated X-Force after this. There's your team-up movie.
I want
Yeah.
that. Actually, I want X-Force as a Netflix show because there's so much to
I'd
be
love a
done.
cable Netflix show
Oh,
and
that
then an
would
X-Force
also be good,
movie because
yeah.
that way you have a bigger budget.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Nick Stahl as
Yeah.
cable and Netflix and then tie him into a movie.
Okay. All right. Because I do want to get, because just me, I want to get to the point where we get that like Madeline Pryor. I want that Nathan Summers birth. I want, the Goblin Queen. I want all that crazy
It's
stuff
so
to
crazy.
happen.
It's so crazy.
And it's so
so
extensive.
nice.
You could really go forever
Yeah.
on this. So
Yeah.
I think Fox is realizing it and they're doing great work.
Well, I think Deadpool is going to be kind of a bit of an awakening because they didn't want to do the movie for so long.
Yeah.
And now that they're doing it, it's the best thing they've got going right now.
Also, if this goes really as well as we think it
Yeah.
is, there are so many characters that you can bring to this. 'Cause Deadpool, I'm sorry, is there a corner of the universe, of Marvel,
lives
that he
everywhere.
has not
Yeah.
been in?
Yeah.
This is such a great opportunity to introduce characters, to, bring in fan favorites. There's so many crossover possibilities
He's their new
that it's
Wolverine.
just
Yeah.
I think.
gonna be.
Oh, I
yeah,
agree.
exactly.
Ryan is
yeah,
their new
Yeah.
Hugh. I think they're going to make this their cornerstone of the mutant world, and then you can tie it into the new team of mutants. You can tie it into, and you can just have Deadpool pop up, and here's my money, and that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great move in losing Hugh Jackman and getting Ryan Reynolds.
That's
Awesome.
no, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
So we've only got a couple minutes left. We need to do 5 stars. Do we have any shout outs?
no one shouted out. No one. I know. No one talked to me. This
Shout
week.
out to Ryan Reynolds. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
before
right.
we move on to
Thank
5
you.
stars and all of that stuff, do you have anything else that you need to say about Deadpool? I'm giving you the chance because I know this is your Doctor Strange,
If
so
it's
I want
just
you to
as
take
good
it.
as the trailer, if it's only as good as the trailer, I can die happy. That's all it needs to be, and I want to thank everyone involved for it, and I give full credit to Ryan for keeping it made.
You okay?
Someone just died.
Okay in there? Don't. Okay.
He got excited about Deadpool.
Yeah.
So I just I think it's gonna change the comic genre, and I haven't said that since Winter Soldier.
Well, just the fact that it's rated R is gonna change the game.
I think this is the biggest change since X-Men came out in 2000, as far as just tonally shifting. I just think it's going to be as influential as Winter Soldier, which got us a whole new Marvel universe with the Russo brothers. So I think this is the 2000s X-Men movie happening to the comic genre now before it pops, and it's amazing. Thank you, Fox. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I totally agree. Do you have anything that you want to add to that?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like, aside from Deadpool himself, like, I'm excited to see all the other little characters, like Weasel, for instance. Like, in the comic
TJ
books,
Miller.
he's kind of, he's always getting kicked around and stuff like that. But TJ Miller is a force to be freaking reckoned with. If you guys saw that Comic-Con panel, like, he is like right up there on par with, like, I am so expecting them to just see them just kick the tar out of each other with just insults. And like, I'm like, how much are they going to leave in? How much are they going to cut out? It's going to be nuts. And I'm excited to see what they do with that character, because he was always there, but not like this.
So prevalent. Yeah. I want a 4 hours director's cut. I don't want all the takes.
Right?
I want just
every single take.
Footage.
Yeah. Blind Owl looks great.
Blind Owl looks amazing.
And she's got all the sass and just like, Oh my God, yeah, I'm very excited. All right, well, Coy, do you want to give us our 5-star reviews?
Kyle Ruffin, thank you for the 5 stars. I am also from Boston, so if I'm ever in Boston, I will be visiting home and saying hello to you. The Pros, Cuddo, Ian Tolland, Karan Horn 15, Mad Denny.
Denny.
It's M.A.D.N.E. Asgard and Habua. Thank you guys for your lovely reviews.
Wait, was Asgard and Hubi, are those two?
Separate.
They're
Asgard
separate.
and then Habua.
Okay.
Habua. All right.
Habua.
Asgard and Habua. All
Asgard
right.
thinks we should slow down a little, and I'll try, buddy. But I'm excited.
Wait,
I have a zest
all of
for
us
life.
need to slow down, or just
said,
you?
I love y'all, but the speed needs to slow down. We have an hour, and we have a lot to
get a
cover,
little
but we
excited.
try.
No, that's
we
fair.
try. Good note.
That is fair. We've received the note that we talk over one another. Like for you two, I think that works. But for the podcast,
That's fair.
we should
Try to
probably slow down a little
when
bit.
Deadpool's involved, because I'd get too excited.
And I actually slow down when it becomes Doctor Strange. I think just because I'm like, no, I'm not trying to milk it. I'm just like thinking so hard about everything that I could talk about that I'm just like, I've got to consider every single thing.
What's the most important at this moment?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, and we have no shout outs.
So we don't have any shout outs, but I found this interesting thing that my friend screen grabbed and posted, and it's I was trying to find it on Haley's Twitter, but maybe they deleted it, I don't know. But apparently there's a screen grab of Haley Atwell talking to The Rock saying, hey, can you follow me so I can DM you? I want to ask you something. And then Dwayne The Rock Johnson responds with, you got it, Peg.
That's awesome.
Is the coolest thing in the world to me, because one, I love The Rock, and you understand this.
Oh, I get it.
But
yeah.
he totally gets that she's Peggy Carter. And if we all know that Dub Smash Wars is about to go down, can
if
you...
they get The Rock on Dub Smash, I didn't even think of that.
God.
Dude, that might be the closest we ever get to him in the Marvel U. So
Exactly. And I'll take it. So that's my shout out to Haley Atwell and The Rock. Please make magic happen. I love you guys. Also, I just saw Haley Atwell. I was watching The Duchess, which is a period drama with Keira Knightley, and I forgot that she played the other, like, the supporting female, and I was
nice.
like, God, everything you do is amazing. I want to
Dan
be her.
McQuarrie, we just talked about The Rock.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, buddy.
So I do want to say that the winner of our Wizard World question of the month, what is Ant-Man Scott Lang's favorite thing to steal from a picnic, is Ron Pickles Schleimer, who said Janet's restraining order.
Amazing. That is 100% good call.
Oh
So
my God.
So Ron Pickles, please please send us a message over Facebook through our fan site here, and give us your personal email. We'll respond to you and we'll work all of that out. Ron,
nice work, Ron.
Well done. Ron just won 2 free tickets to any Wizard World in America that's happening this year. We can get him through the doors, but we can't give him room and board because we're poor.
Yeah.
But he can go. We can get him in the doors, and he can enjoy the entire weekend there, no matter what. Wizard World is where pop culture comes to life, and they're our prize sponsors. So I have to apologize to everyone. I forgot to compile all of the David Bowie answers, but I do know that we've got Brandon Simmons, who said that he should be the Beyonder. We've got Alan Chisholm, who said that he should be the Grandmaster, and Reed Gibson said he should be Star-Lord's father.
Yes.
Which I would love.
Oh my God.
I will compile all of those next week. I apologize, but that means that question is still out there. So tweet at us and find us on Facebook and give us those answers, and we'll compile them all and announce it next week. So Anyway, that's our show. Coy, do you have anything you want to talk about?
Everyone that gets upset when I'm negative, I want to apologize in advance for when I inevitably talk about Fantastic Four back from vacation.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Meredith, do you have anything?
Yeah, a couple things. If you guys want to come out and hang out with me and talk cosplay and comics and stuff, I'm going to be at the amazing Houston Comic Con on September 4th through the 7th. I know that's also Burning Man weekend and also Dragon Con weekend. But if you happen to be in Houston, I'll be there. And then 2 weeks later, I will be at Hawaii for the amazing Hawaii Comic Con the 18th through the 20th. That's going to be super awesome. With Stan Lee will be appearing as the guest of honor. So I'm super stoked about that. Yeah. And then I also, my day job, I work for geek.com, and I just published the 11 Dragon Ball Z moves that can double as sex techniques.
Oh,
you might want to go
funny.
check that out. I'm pretty proud of that one. So
you should be proud of that one. That's a fantastic one.
I saw you talking about that on Twitter just a little bit.
I've been wanting to
I'm glad to see that's what it
experiment
was.
with like comedic writing. One of the things I want to do when I moved to LA was actually take some like comedy writing workshops. I haven't done that yet, but I did my first funny post, and I want people to read it.
Get to juggle some Dragon Balls.
April, do you have anything?
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for inviting me.
I'm excited to have you.
I'm like, I get to talk nerdy, on a podcast.
Welcome back anytime. If there's anything that ever comes up that you just have to get something off your chest, let us know.
Well, now you might have to delete my number or block me or something because you're not going to be able to get rid of me.
What's your book series again?
It's oh my god, I forgot the name of my own book all of a sudden. 13 Offerings,
awesome.
Tales of Etheria. It's part of a much bigger series that will be coming when I can afford to get everything edited.
But we can get that on Amazon?
You can find that on Amazon.
Great.
You can also just look on my name there. It'll pop right up.
Cool.
Great. All right. Well, that's our show. Special thanks to our prize sponsor, Wizard World Conventions, where pop culture comes to life. We've got they've got Chicago coming up on April 20th through the 23rd. Then San Jose, they'll be in California, September 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then they're going to Pittsburgh to the David L. Lawrence Convention Center, September 11th, 12th, and 13th. So make sure to check them out. They have a great show. I bought my shirt there, my Captain America shirt.
America.
And I'll just tell you guys, if you want to go, head up that Chicago one that's coming up. Everyone is talking about that.
That's their big one. Jeremy Renner's going to be at that one. Yeah, I think Peggy Carter.
Yeah, Haley's going to be there. Yeah,
I saw Mission Impossible. I just wanted more Renner.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was like, I love Tom Cruise, but I just wanted more Renner, and that's a great sign.
I just sat on the back of a bike with him once.
With Jeremy Renner?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was a little awkward because I was standing in for Rachel Weisz on that one Born movie that they did, and I was just like, they're like, no, grab onto him, and I'm just like,
but it's Jeremy Renner.
But it's a bulldog.
Okay. He's just looking at me, he's like,
it's okay.
Go for it. I'm just like, okay, cool. I have tons of awkward stories like that.
Yeah. Well, next time. Please don't forget to subscribe to our show on iTunes. We're at Marvel Movie News. Rate us. Leave us a comment. If you give us 5 stars and you mean it,
then I will mispronounce your name.
I
also read the 4 stars that are not just aggressive, and the 1 stars I read, I just don't comment on.
Yeah.
And also, guys, if you tweet at us, I will give you a shout out on Twitter.
Yeah.
So you gotta say, like, I want a shout out. Like, a lot of people tweet things. Like, really mean things. So
Everyone that's been picking up comics lately, like we've gotten a few people that are picking up new comics. People, that's amazing. I love that you guys are like learning new comic stuff.
Yeah.
We're influencing you in a good way. I talked about Acid earlier. I feel like this is the other direction, so it's nice. I think it's really cool that we can like show you guys and guide you on your comic journey. So any questions you have about comics, if you want any recommendations, and just talk about stuff, that's amazing.
We really want to. We never seem to have time to talk about comics, so we might try to do like a once a month where we get together and do like a supplemental thing.
Yeah.
You know, maybe hang out after the show and try to book some time.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, I think you guys need some. You guys want it, so we'll give you more comics.
Yeah, we've got to figure that out.
Yeah.
So I just appreciate it. It's cool.
Know your comic book history.
Yeah.
So find us on Facebook /Marvel News Show or on Twitter @Marvel News PTN. We do try to get to all of those as best as we can, but we've got busy weeks and busy lives, so forgive us if we're a little slow sometimes. But we do pay attention. Anyway, that's our show. I'm Matt Key.
I'm Meredith Placko.
I'm Coy Jandreau.
And special guest,
April Wallin.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Woohoo.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit PopcornTalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only, not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.